Hello again, folks. Barry here with Barry's 8-track and classic car radio repair, and another unusual situation in my shop. What else is new? We have a unit from a 1967 Lincoln Continental that the customer has sent in, and he wanted the conversion wired to his original connectors, and and then on top of that, this was originally a mono radio, and it is still a mono radio even after conversion for one reason. And I'm going to show you that right now, see if we can get my overhead camera into the picture. Okay, and here is the schematic of that unit, and there's a couple unusual things going on here. Now, I don't expect you guys to really read the schematic, but this is the output circuit of the radio, and of course the converted radio has that same output circuit. Output circuit ends up right here, and then in order for it to get to the fader so that it can be distributed to the speakers, it has to go through this plug, which is in the customer's car. As you can see, these two pins in the car are connected together, which is the only way that the signal from the radio is going to get to the fader and onto the speakers. Now, there's a problem with that, is that also in the customer's car, not in the radio like it usually is, but the customer's car, this is where the output transformer is for the original radio. Now, after the conversion, this output transformer is no longer needed, and in fact could cause problems. So what I did on this radio was, since this connection is required to get the speakers connected to the radio's output, but it also forces that transformer into the circuit, instead I shorted these two connections together at the radio's plug. Otherwise, the customer would need to figure out how to disconnect this output transformer, and apparently, since he's asking that the radio be connected to his original connectors, he probably doesn't want to go through all that hassle trying to figure out where this thing connects. So luckily, we were able to just go ahead and make this connection at the radio, and that way he can just plug it right in there so that the signal can get to his to this speaker here, but it does not force this transformer into the picture. Now, what that amounts to, though, is that since this is a mono circuit and it cannot be converted to stereo with this existing wiring configuration, we have to use capacitive coupling, which reduces the available output power to that of the original radio, pretty close to that, and we're dividing that signal between two speakers. So he may not get the volume that he's hoping to get, but with this original wiring configuration, this is what we're stuck with. So that being stated, we're going to go ahead and go back to the radio, and we're going to turn it on and make sure that it functions properly with the conversion and everything, and that it does go through both speakers. And since this is still a mono radio, it's still configured as a mono radio because that's the only way to configure it with this original car wiring. I've got the output meter set to where only the left channel comes through, but it comes through on the front and the rear, because that's pretty much the configuration that the car will be in. It's only a mono radio, so he's only going to have a front and rear speaker, and they will be reproducing the same identical signals. So that being stated, let's go back to our radio and let's turn it on.
Bladeless cataract surgery. Personalized consultations help patients to navigate.
Okay, we're going to bring our output level meters in the picture so we can see what's going on with that.
Committed to the pursuit of clear vision. 779-7000.
Okay, now we're going to rotate our fader so that we can separate the speakers. That's front only.
Hey, welcome back to the World Cafe. I'm Talia.
And this is rear only.
According to Hamilton Lighthouser, the song you're about to hear is
Okay.
at that moment you catch yourself off guard.
So we've got that. We've got front
a little harder
and rear
than we're ready for.
able to separate.
You're
And from this point on, now that we've seen
And
that
apparently
both speakers do
Hamilton
work,
got his
I'm just going to keep
#1
it
first
on this
choice
rear
for
speaker
duet
here.
partner on this song, Angel Olsen. Hear her vocals.
And from that point, we'll go ahead and go back to our close-up of our radio. And we're going to run it down all the FM stations. You know what? To make it a little bit easier to see the tuning pointer, I'm going to go ahead and put the dial light on too. And we do that just by connecting the power also to the lighting circuit.
Coordinator at A&M being at UCLA, so seeing those kind of athletes would not be anything new to Kevin Sumlin.
Okay, I've made a little connection mistake here. Easy to fix. There we go. Alrighty, and now we can connect the lighting circuit to the actual radio circuit, so that the dial lights up and we can see what we're doing here. Okay, there's our dial light. Okay, and I accidentally switched it over to AM by doing that, so we'll switch it back to FM. Alrighty, now we. Okay, I accidentally activated the Bluetooth, so let's start all over here. This does have the Bluetooth add-on. Okay, now we're on FM. So let's run it across the dial. Make sure we pick up a good 20-25 FM stations.
Never sleeps.
Okay, there's 10 so far.
Keeps up. If we call bicycles bikes.
There's 15.
Kingston Town.
A spaceship or a time machine?
Pull up to the spot. Live it.
And then it becomes opaque.
Okay, that's 25 stations there. Okay, so that's close to 30 FM stations, and I've preset all 5 of the push buttons as FM stations, so let's make sure that works. Okay, and let's go back to our output level meters just to double check this fader control. Okay, I gotta figure out why that's not working. There we are. Okay, and we're going to rotate our fader.
So this is it. I sold my
Fader to the left, front speaker only, rear speaker only, front only, rear only. Okay, we'll go ahead and divide the signal between the two.
stars, that's all they are.
Alrighty, we're going to go back to just our unit. And what do we want to test now? Let's check out the AM function. The way to switch between AM and FM on this type of radio is to turn it off, then right back on within about half a second. And there's our familiar AM interference. Should get a station right around there.
They pacify and become blurry.
And we'll pick up, there's another one there. Pick up another one somewhere in the 1100 range.
Who also wrote the script.
And there it is.
Could have been a great story, but instead fell
Okay, and that's about all the stations we get in this area as far as AM goes. Now let's go ahead and activate our Bluetooth. I'm not going to go to all the trouble of pairing it with a unit. We're just going to make sure that the Bluetooth will activate. And the one way to activate the Bluetooth is to give the volume control 2 quick turns in the direction of higher volume. And we should hear a female voice coming on saying ready to pair. So here we go. You know what, let's go ahead and switch it back to FM though. Okay, now we're going to try to activate the Bluetooth. Here we go.
Ready to pair.
Okay, and there's our female voice saying ready to pair. So the unit is now trying to pair with a Bluetooth device, which I don't have handy at the moment, so it's not going to pair up with anything. So in 90 seconds, the lady will come back on saying pairing not completed. This gives us time to check a couple other things here. Let's check the FM, or let's check the antenna up-down functions, and this will be an easy thing to do. I've just got a little, hopefully you can hear that beep. That indicates continuity, and we're just going to connect this up real quick. Try our antenna up switch. You hear the beep. Try the antenna down switch. We should hear a beep on that also. Okay, and just for fun, I'll bring my mic closer to the meter. That's testing the antenna down switch, and this will be testing the antenna up switch. Alrighty, so we got that That confirms that
You're
the antenna
listening
switches
to
are working properly.
KAHL,
And
102.
incidentally, the antenna circuit is not at all connected into the radio. It's an entirely separate thing. It does not interact with the radio circuitry at all. So we didn't have to do anything to that antenna circuit. All right. So in a few moments, we should hear that lady coming back on saying pairing not completed. So we'll just wait for her to come back.
Local economy and help stores like Whisker Sparkery in turn.
And we've confirmed that the dial light works. Let's turn that off. Dial light's off.
Whisker Sparkery, 225 West.
Pairing, not a complete.
Okay, and there's our lady coming back on saying pairing not completed. Let's go ahead and test the line input, which I have I've just got a test tone that I'm going to feed into the line input jacks.
During our model year end.
Okay, there's one side, and there's the other side, and there will be a 20-second delay before the radio comes back on after using the line inputs, and that's because there's a Vox circuit, VOX, voice-operated switch, that's designed to hold on to the aux-in circuit a little longer than it really needs to, and that's to make sure that the unit's not constantly switching back and forth between radio and aux, between songs and during quiet or music packages. Okay, and there's our radio come back by itself after 20 seconds, so that confirms that everything is working properly on this converted radio. It's ready to go back to customer. I'm ready to move on to the next job, and let's just go ahead and say goodbye to you guys. This is Barry with Barry's 8-track and classic car radio repair. Needless to say, I perform FM conversions on classic car AM radios. We can also add Bluetooth, USB reader, auxiliary input, and on some radios I can even double the existing number of FM station presets. So you can also contact me for 8-track units either for home or for car use, and my number is 928-533-9666. My website is in the description below. Thank you very much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.